1 second.
There's just something more stressful about it being live. Do you feel that?
Yeah, but I like it.
You like it?
I thrive off that. Although, why can't I? Here we go.
There's just something more stressful about it being live. Do you feel that?
Yeah, but I like it.
You
Ooh,
like
I'm
it?
loud. Thrive off that. All right. Although, why can't I? Where is Discord? Here we go. Right here. I just sent it to you. Yeah, but I like
Alright, so I can just copy that.
I'm loud.
CS.
Alright.
Copy link.
Cool. You know what I gotta add though? Is get those YouTube viewers. Then you know what I need to do? And I'll do this.
You want me to tweet the link yet or no?
Yeah, you're good. But you know what I should do is add like a text box with the podcast and the Twitter and all that. I can totally do that at some point. But
Alright, I posted it.
And we can do polls.
I just want to make sure the link works. Live podcast, 2 watching, me and you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Alright. I'm good then. So, ready for me to start?
Good. Yeah.
Hello and welcome
Wait.
No?
Now go.
Sorry. Our Match Week 7 review show. Lots of stuff going on this weekend in the Premier League that we're going to cover majority of it in like a brief synopsis. We also have updates on our Premier League Fantasy League that we do with the Away Fans podcast, as well as our Champions League bets for this week. So we'll start right in, I guess, with the Fantasy League. Say hi, Nick, too. Yeah.
Hey, sorry. Sorry, I was trying to figure something out.
So we'll get right into the Fantasy League. We had a big change in positions this week with Nick actually overtaking Young Chromosome for the lead. And any words?
Thought. I didn't look at my team for the last 2 weeks. It's kind of a natural thing. I'm not happy. I mean, I'm happy about it. You know, I'm not proud I didn't look, but I am proud.
The key is Ollie Watkins, pretty obviously. Yeah. Anytime someone gets 3 goals and it's not Holland, big shift. Whoever everyone's like second striker is.
I always had faith in him too.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick is now in first. Then we got Young Chromosome followed by me, Fighting Owls. Then we have Ethan, FPK, Ben, Chandler, EA AIDS, Netflix and Chilwell, and White Boys is now in 10th. EA AIDS made a big push up with 95 points this week, which is actually like pretty impressive. He captained Ollie Watkins.
Do you know the most points we've gotten in a week from someone in the group?
Overall, like in
yeah,
I don't really know. I wish I could just see it because it would take some time.
I'm curious to see what
we should. Yeah, I mean, this is our first year, like hosting a league. But it'd be interesting next year, like to give an award for the most points in a single game week. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the season.
Yeah, keep some stats.
It might be him with 95. Because I'm looking through quick.
I was gonna say I don't know.
I've seen is 90, and I think you got 90 one week.
Yeah, the triple captain week with Holland.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's broken 100 because I feel like that would be a pretty big surprise.
Yeah, it's him with 95. So good for you, EA AIDS. Congrats. And we'll show the full chart on Twitter too, right after this episode. Yeah, definitely some movement on there. Shook up the table a little bit. I didn't think anyone was going to catch Young Chromosome once he started so quickly. So.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Shit happens.
This shit does happen.
Yeah, our first match of the week was Aston Villa versus Brighton, where Aston Villa completely blew them away, and I lost my first bet because Minima didn't score or assist. I thought that game was going to go a very
We
different
gotta
way.
go through the bets, don't we?
We do, but
I don't.
do you want to go through the bets first? Or you want to go through the games?
We should probably just get the bets out of the way. I don't want to, I never want to see it again. So,
All right, fair enough.
I'm gonna pop them on screen just so
Beautiful.
I don't have to say mine. United Palace over 2.5. Shit. Liverpool versus Tottenham. Liverpool money line. Shit. Nottingham versus Brentford. Brentford money line. Shit. Then you
Nice.
were. Yeah. Let's just get that.
I took Tottenham money line against Liverpool, so I won that.
Yeah.
I took Chelsea money line over Fulham. I won that. And then I put Minima to score, so I lost that one. So I went 2 for 3.
Wait.
And the lead gets bigger.
Score or assist? And you
Score
lost
or
that.
assist, and he didn't get either of them. So.
All right. Well, you got a full 2-week lead on me.
I do. I'm feeling good about it, honestly.
You should. You should be happy.
I am a little bit happy. So yeah, what's the score at now?
It's 9-3.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Definitely. I mean, I just gotta play smart now.
Yeah, now you gotta ride that baby out.
You gotta make sure I get at least one every week. I can't get skunked. That's basically it.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So onto the fixtures. Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1. I was surprised by this game. I don't know if you were too, but I thought Brighton would do better.
Yeah. No. I actually thought, from what I've understand this season, I thought Villa was weaker than they were at the end of last season. Clearly not, because that was fucking crazy. But
and Watkins could have had more too. He could have had a couple more. Yeah.
That would have really helped my fantasy, but whatever.
Then we had United Crystal Palace. Fortunate loss.
Fucking
red.
Suck, dude. You suck. After like the midweek too, I'm like, oh, we got backups beating them 3-0. We're gonna be fine.
No.
Like, Rashford's frustrating to watch. Højlund's all right. I'm not worried about Højlund.
Yeah, but Rashford's always been like I don't know the right word. It's like, you know how they say players have like a purple patch, where they like are just such good. Like Rashford's very patchy.
It's like Leao.
For
it's like
6 games he'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, and when he's not, he's trying to make things, and he beats like 3 guys so close together. And it's just the last guy will get him. Yeah. And I honestly, I'm okay with him trying shit like that because he will do it.
Yeah.
And it's different than like he beats one guy or he doesn't beat the first guy and you're like, why the fuck would you even try it? Like he dribbles in the box, gets beat. It's just like what he needs to do is, and he did it second half. But that first half he went through like 3 or 4 times directly at him, and I like being direct. Yeah. But what you got to do is you got to go direct at them, and then the first time they stand off, it's a cross. You know what I mean? You have to mix it up. And what I liked Garnacho coming in the second half, what he was doing is he's a right footer, but he would take it to the line. Yeah. And then the second one, he would go cut inside. You know what I mean? You have to can't do the same shit every time. You got to mix it up.
Yep. No, I got you. It definitely makes sense. I mean, it's tough. I know it's hard to relate, but I feel your frustration with the team. Like, with the seasons prior to when we started becoming good again, like even the season we finished 5th, you have so much like hope at the beginning of the season. You're like, oh, rebuilt, new players, new everything, and then you're like, we started off 3 losses in a row. But it's when a team like City is, in the league, you're like, 1 loss can be the end of the season because a lot of the times you can't guarantee they're gonna lose.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like, we have so many people injured.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's gonna happen. I mean, like we will be all right. We're not completely gonna fall apart. It's not like we're putting our best 11 out there and then shitting the bed. Like we will be all right. It's just it's hard to deal with right now. It's hard to
So
watch.
I gotta ask because I'm curious, like, because I feel like basically like, and I obviously we're Man U Arsenal fans, so we kind of assimilate everything to our teams. I feel like you guys are like a year or two like behind where like we were with Arteta. So like we're getting all the benefits of it now, and like you're kind of working through the
Yeah.
kinks and waiting for Ten Hag to get his team, like that kind of thing.
That second or third year where you guys looked like dreadful.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like that's happening right now.
yeah,
I do feel like we might be on a faster course than you guys were, purely because we had some sort of a squad. I feel like you guys
right.
had to
We had,
completely
yeah, we
start over.
pretty much from the ground up.
Yeah, and but that being said,
But
who knows, man?
and I guess my question is because this was the conversation around Arsenal was the whole time is like, do you stick with Arteta? Do you not?
Yeah.
And I know you said in the past like, yes, I'm behind Eric Ten Hag. At what point are you like, I don't know, man? Like we gotta start like thinking about like, is it you finish outside the top six or like what's the line for you as a Man U? If you have one.
Let's say, Lissandro just had surgery. So let's say everyone comes back in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that second half of the season nothing changes and we're still not performing, I think it's safe to question it.
Yeah.
It's you just can't blame him when all the tools aren't available, and that's not even the players we have. That's when you're not getting any sort of. I know people criticize United for saying you don't get financial backing because when we do, but it's not the right type. We could be spending more if owners didn't pocket money, which is crazy because we probably spend the most, but we could be spending even more. So even if everyone's there, the blame can still be put on the owners.
Yep.
And I just seeing it with Arteta, Ten Hag, you just got it. At this point, it's been too many managers, too many problems with the owners.
Right.
Let's just stay here. I think he's the guy. It's just the owners got to go.
Yeah. And that's how I felt with Arteta the whole time. I was so behind him. I'm like, just push through. But unfortunately, like, we've seen fan bases aren't always like that. And unfortunately, the ones that are always the most negative are usually the most vocal that can be seen everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is where you start to see, will there be, not riots, but, people standing up in the crowds with the flags. You know what I mean? Like, and it's only a matter of time if things don't improve.
Going back to what I just said on the owners, every game's a Glazer out. There's a Glazer out chant. There's like the focus has so much been on the owners that Ten Hag just won't get any of the hate. It's just it goes straight to the owners.
Yeah.
And I feel like Arsenal, you guys were you were almost on that path at one point. Yeah. And then because you guys
they were pointing out things. The thing that changed it, I think, was one, they stuck with Arteta and we started to win games, but two, we had pretty significant financial backing.
Yeah, you guys
right. Like as soon as they took full ownership, we saw, and I think they took ownership this season before Aubameyang signed. So like Aubameyang, Nicolas Pepe, like those are big investments. Even though they didn't work out absolutely perfect, the intention was there. You could see they were trying.
Yeah, I think the Amazon doc actually probably helped you guys because I think it's Kroenke's son. Is it his son that's Josh. After I saw hate on him before that doc, and then after the doc, I was like, maybe he's not the best, but he clearly fucking cares. He's not just doing it to be his son's help or his father's help. He's he really cares.
So the thing is, I see with Josh is I think Stan gave it to him as almost like a science project because they're rich, rich, way more than we could ever imagine. But I think Josh has taken that and almost actually kind of felt I don't know, it's really dependent on him So like it might not matter to him financially, but he's like, I just want to see it succeed.
Yeah, which is
I'll
good.
take whatever I can. I could take
Yes.
whatever I can get. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be picky about it.
You'd rather have that than like a Daniel Levy like
Yeah.
being like, it's a financial thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he wants Spurs to succeed, but like, you know, he's not willing to just drop a bag or sell a player when he needs to sell a player.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious on your thoughts, and I'm sure we'll revisit that into the end of the season, towards the end of the season, and see how everything panned out. We also had Newcastle Burnley. Newcastle went about business, 2-0 win.
Burnley's gonna get a win over a big team eventually.
Eventually, yeah,
it's gonna happen. I can see it happening. But...
Well, the soccer they play isn't bad. That's the thing.
It's crazy they're the youngest team doing that too.
Yeah.
Like imposing themselves as such a young team. It's wild.
It'll be interesting towards the end of the season, I think, when they're like, because right now it's looking like they're going to be one of the teams battling to stay up. It'll be an interesting end there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I hope they stay up and so they can develop. Like it would suck for them to have to go down. The good thing about
you had to reset and you go back down.
But the good thing about them going down young is you don't lose guys who should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of those guys would probably stay unless they came from
on huge contracts already or something.
Yeah.
And then we have one of the big talking points of the weekend: Wolves versus City. My whole time, so I was watching just at the same time. Yeah, same time as Arsenal. I was watching the Arsenal game, but I had the updates for City Wolves going on, and the whole time I'm just like, blow the whistle. Like I want this game to be done as soon as possible. Because I mean, Wolves had 2 different leads in this game. As soon as City tied it, I was like, "Oh, City's gonna come back."
Yeah. And I was watching United. Like, oh, I'm gonna lose this bet. But then I checked my phone when Wolves scored. I was like, "Fuck!" Like it's like the one thing I thought I could count on. And of course, City. And I was like, "No, City will come back." And then they drew it. And it was the same thought. It's like, all right, they're fine. And then I saw 2-1. It's like, fuck, man. Yeah. Like, it's so stupid, man.
Well, the thing is, like, I think, like, comparatively to last year, and I could be wrong, I don't think City lost nearly, like, I mean, they didn't lose nearly this early last year. Like, this is early on point to drop point, like, in the season.
It's game 7. I mean, we're almost like a third or more. No, we're almost.
I don't know. I feel like usually they hold on to like I'm thinking back to like Invincible's day is like what Arsenal fans will say like that when the other teams all lose a game, because they can't possibly be Invincibles. I feel like they came late in the season last year. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I might have. I think you're right. Safety.
But like this is a huge, not just for Wolves, but like for the rest of the Premier League to see like I think Arsenal were 1 point off now. Like, and a couple weeks ago when we drew was it Fulham and then Tottenham, we're kind of like title race could be over.
Yeah.
And now it's like straight back on again.
No, it is. And what do we? You and Tottenham are tied for points.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys are both 1 point back. Liverpool.
Yeah, like Liverpool's only 2. Yeah.
And they could have easily won that game and gone first, too.
We'll get there in a second. I'm fired up about that still. As our resident Tottenham hater, I'm pretty livid about that game. Even though I won my bet, I'm livid about the game.
Yeah.
Next we had, and we talked about it before, but the Pep forgetting Hwang Hee-chan's name, and then the Wolves admin tweeting out that the Korean guy scored. I liked that. I liked the little,
and I'm sure Pep probably appreciated that too. Like, I'm sure he kind of liked that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I was like, what a good way to handle that situation. Like, from Wolves' side, instead of being like, and I don't want to say, because it's like, it can come off as insensitive, but like, instead of the admin could have easily done like, we want to put out a statement due to recent events where Pep Guardiola,
that would be so
marginalized our play, but they could have. In this day and age, you could have.
They could have.
And no one would have been like, "That's insane." Like people would have been pissed. Like there's a group of people that would have gotten behind that and been like,
"Yeah,
right,
yeah."
Fuck that. You know what I mean?
I think they would have been more inclined to do it if he said that Asian guy instead of that Korean guy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Or if you got the
Um,
wrong country and he said that Chinese guy or something,
yeah,
that would have been like, all right,
yeah.
yeah,
I just think the way that it was handled was like, I think Wolves took it as, the guy made a mistake, whatever.
yeah.
But we're still gonna make, poke fun at it, kind of
And
thing.
it's Pep. Like I feel like anything Pep says, you can kind of tell he's got some kind of sarcastic like asshole
Yeah,
thing up
yeah,
his sleeve. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think that had to do with it as well.
So I just thought the situation was handled well, and I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought everything good came of it. You see no talk about it in the media, which is
Yeah.
best case scenario. So I think this is all
Yeah,
good.
I'm sure it's all done.
Bournemouth Arsenal 4-0. Kai Havertz getting his first goal after everyone gave him the penalty. Heartwarming moment for me. I
I
want
know,
Kai
it
to do
was.
so well, and everyone slapping him on the neck and high fives and happiness. It was beautiful.
I saw your tweet about Odegaard being a great captain. I was like,
Dude, he is dude.
stop freaking jerking
He's
yourself
the
off,
guy. He's the
dude.
guy, man.
Oh, what a
Dude.
self.
No, he's so good. Yeah. This
I
is what-
agree, but like
we talk about it all the time that we're like, oh, we gotta get Nick onto the Twitter. Because sometimes I just can't hold it back.
what, you can't hold it back?
Right, I can't hold back.
Yeah, I
had
know.
to tweet about Odegaard, dude.
I know, and I would agreed with you with all those points until you tweeted that, and then I was like, fuck you, shut up, dude. Like that was the point that just turned me, where it's like I get turned really easily if I get aggravated.
Yeah.
I'm like, I go the exact opposite. So it's like, yeah, I would have been completely fine with it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, fuck Odegaard, fuck
No,
Havertz, dude.
It was so nice of him to give the penalty. Because I didn't even think about it, honestly. I was like, oh, Odegaard's gonna score too. I was like,
yeah. No, it was good. It was
well taken penalty too. I'm hoping that kind of flips Havertz on. He had a good game overall too. He didn't play bad. So.
I was gonna say I just don't know how much. I mean, I know everyone says, "Oh, scoring a goal," but it's like, it's a pen. How much is that really gonna help you out?
I think I agree with you, but I think the negatives from it, like looking back on it, the negative if he missed that penalty would have been absolutely catastrophic. Like compared to him, like the positive of him making it aren't as good as like how bad the negatives would have been.
No, that's a penalty you give when you are 3-0 up. You know what I mean? You're not doing that 2-2 or something like that.
But even if we won 4-0 and he missed the penalty, he would have been absolutely murdered in the press.
Yeah, but you guys would have protected him. I think.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would have come out and said something.
And then like you probably didn't watch the stream, but like the away fans for Arsenal, the Bournemouth fans were silent the entire game, but the away fans from Arsenal sang the new Kai Havertz chant that they made for like 45 minutes, dude. You couldn't stop hearing.
Is it the Kai Havertz scores again thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, Tony Martial had it first. Second off, you gotta wait for him to score 2 goals before you start doing that, man.
Again,
you can't do that the first goal.
Yeah. They could have flipped it to like Kai Havertz scores a pen, you know.
He could have done that for the first one. And I'm not gonna lie, that one for Martial is my favorite, one of my favorite chants. So I understand you guys liking that one. It's a great one. It's a great chant, but
but I liked it. I liked he's opened his account, and I'm hoping it's good for him. And then we had West Ham Sheffield. West Ham 2-0 win. West Ham looked good again. Everton Luton. Luton get their first win in the Premier League.
Wild.
Yeah, we kind of said it. We said this week Luton had their.
I was so close. Like I think I said it last time. I was so close to taking them, and I was like, "God,
we should have." We both agreed that this was gonna be the week.
I know. I backed out. I thought Everton was better than they were.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
Tottenham Liverpool. A lot going on here. Tottenham once again. Okay. I need you to back me up if you think I'm right, because I'm always going to be seen as a Tottenham hater because I'm an Arsenal fan. but to me, Tottenham are massively outperforming how good they've been playing. Like their points tally is better than what they deserve. I feel like
Yeah,
because this is a game that I think Liverpool should have at least gotten a draw from. And I think Liverpool were robbed pretty much on this game.
I would completely agree with you, but not in the sense that Tottenham are a bad team. I think it's actually scary what they could be in one more summer transfer window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think they are overperforming for the players they have, not the manager they have. But I think they will be. I mean, they are a tough team to beat, but I think they'll be even tougher.
I mean, the offside, the goal that was ruled offside, that was onside. And I tweeted out. I thought it was one of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen.
It's so crazy. It is literally so crazy.
Like watching that game, like, I mean, you hear the announcers during it. They show it on the TV. Like they show it on my TV, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, he's on. And it took me a millisecond to be like, oh, he's onside.
Yeah.
And how it gets up to the booth, and they look at it like, I don't know. Like the Premier League mornings guys were saying after, he's like, they must not have been watching the game. Like that's the only thing he can think of is that, like, I don't know.
My first thought was like, oh, it goes to show that, refs, they're human too. And then I was like, fuck that. Like, you have to be actually like terrible at what you do. Like, you have to be stupid to make that call. Like, that's not just being a human. That's like you just weren't doing your job remotely close. Yeah. Like, it's not a mistake. It's like something's seriously wrong there if that call.
And you can hear the announcers. So like they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing on my TV at home, and the announcers are like, "Oh, he's on," and then the call on the field stands and they call him offside, and the announcers like trying to think of a way to like cover that. They're getting paid by like this crew. They can't be like, "Wow, that's shit." Like,
they have to.
The announcer, they're trying to find a way to explain it. So the announcer's like, the only way I can see that's offside is if the groundskeeper was out drinking last night and had a late night or something.
Yeah.
And he mowed the lines crooked.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca Lowe was going nuts about it.
Good.
Like she was like livid. I know, but like usually you don't hear that. Usually they're like, "Oh, we'll see what the PGMOL says." Blah blah blah. You know, like what kind of we'll see what happens. It could have happened to anyone. That kind of thing. Usually they take that stance of protecting them. But I mean, they were going like, "Is this the end of VAR? If you can't do this, why should you even have it?"
If you can't make like close calls, but if you can't make that call, something's wrong. Not to switch because there's more to that game, but there's one thing I forgot to mention in the United game. Did you see the handball?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, it should be a pen. Yeah.
Right, it should be a pen. And I wasn't even that furious about it. And then I saw, I think some PGMOL, like a guy or a former ref or something said, well, his hands were by his side. Then I watched replay again, and his hands were not by his hands were out here. And the one thing is, if Rashford wasn't going to get on the end of that, and it was going to mean nothing.
Yeah.
I'm honestly like, he wasn't looking. Maybe I can mentally gymnastic my way around it. But the fact that the fact that he was about to receive that ball, either could have taken a shot or could have played it off, and it probably would have been a goal. It's like, how can you do that? How can you do that? How is that not a pen?
Well, this is what I was saying about the penalty Arsenal got versus Tottenham previous week. Was I think that like the penalty was given, but I think if that play happens at the edge of the box, I think there's a 50-50 shot it doesn't get given.
Yeah,
I think because the ball was going in the net, they were like, "Oh, we have to give it."
You have to,
Or there's gonna be a fallout. I think you put that elsewhere in the box where it should still be a pen. Yeah. I think there's a real conversation that they don't give it because of how the rules are right now.
I think,
which is ridiculous.
They fucked up on a couple handballs 3 years ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they're just paying like I don't know some sort of price to themselves,
Yeah.
like to not because I think they're scared. They're
Yeah.
scared of making the right decision.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's so stupid. I don't even understand.
I just
I
don't
just don't
get,
even
like,
understand it.
like one that I don't get, like the proximity rule, like how they're like, oh, if he's too close, obviously you can't get your hand out of the way in time,
Yeah.
which makes sense to me. Like if me and you are side by side, you flick the ball into my hand, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Right. But what? And if there is, maybe I'm wrong. I've never once heard anyone be like, oh, proximity is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Like proximity is 5
yeah.
yards, and just say like, okay, if they're outside 5 yards, proximity rule goes out the way. Because why wouldn't you want that? We have the ability to draw lines that are like exact to like a millimeter. You're telling me if there's a handball in the box, we're gonna review it anyways. You can't draw a line between
You can't spend
player
that
to
time.
player and just be like, oh, he's more than 5 yards. It's a handball.
And going off that rule, I totally proximity. Yeah, if especially
Quantify it is all I'm saying.
I see it the most when someone's running down the side and goes across the
Yep.
ball and the guy's running.
Yep.
If that's too close and the guy is running and his hands are like this and it hits him, totally understand. The one that I call kind of bullshit on is you have a defender, defender and attacker squared up,
Yeah.
and then he flicks it up, and if his arm is out
Yeah.
here when they're squared up,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't really care how close it is. You can't
Yeah.
have your arms if you're squared up like that. You gotta have them by your side.
Yeah.
But
Well,
any
I
other
like that.
situation, I
I like to when like they'll be defending and they have their arms like closed behind their back, but then their elbows like here.
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, his arms are behind his back, but bro's elbow is like."
Willian saved a goal last year in the FA
Yeah.
Cup against United. He got a red card for it,
Yeah.
fairly, but like he did that and then tried to play it off like he was
Yeah,
behind his back. It's like, yeah, sure.
I just think. I mean, Liverpool. I think were robbed the points here. The goal they scored too. The goal that Luis Diaz scored was beautiful. I mean, the fact that he finished that from that angle was pretty impressive.
If
And
I'm
then,
Luis Diaz, I'm giving refs just the most
my-
shit.
Yeah.
That's, they talk about getting crowded by players and
Yeah.
taking verbal abuse by players. Well, you're not helping yourselves when you fuck
No.
up every call. Like, that's why
Oh.
people are... I understand if you call a clean game
Yep.
and, you get some 50-50s wrong,
Yeah.
but if you make it people are gonna fucking...
Yeah, they're
Fuck
gonna be
you.
angry.
They're
Like,
gonna be
yeah, I
pissed.
mean, and especially like, there's no like Liverpool are not getting those points back.
Yeah,
Like
no.
this, if this is what it comes down to, and Liverpool like lose the league or miss out on top 4 by 2 points, like this is what it comes down to. And the problem is that like a player makes a mistake. He kicks out of someone, whatever, fined, match ban, right? Or at least 1 match ban. The ref makes a mistake. They issue an apology from the headquarters of refereeing. Not even the ref. The ref
Yeah.
doesn't come out and say, "My bad, guys." Like
Yeah.
it's none of that. It's the headquarters come out and say that they're sorry, and the ref gets to referee the next match.
Yeah.
Like nothing happens. There's no fine. There's nothing that like Liverpool don't get compensation for anything. It's sorry we missed one.
Well,
Our bad.
if Liverpool were to miss out on Champions League by 3 points,
Yeah,
you have an argument that ref cost
Yeah.
them $100 million. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like, there's an actual argument to that, and
Yep.
I would fucking. I mean, I don't know if they lawyer up and sue if that's the situation.
The problem is it's becoming so normalized for refereeing mistakes that it's like it's every week. I mean we've had 3 or 4 apologies just this year. So
Yeah,
far.
and do you go back to no VAR where that might have been called offsides, but you can't
Yeah.
question it? I mean, what do you?
Me personally, I think the answer is to go to the automated offside that they use in
Yeah.
the World Cup and the Champions League. I think there's been maybe 1 mistake with that, but the entire World Cup was played and offside decisions were like that. Like,
Yeah,
instantaneous. And I know it costs money to put in, but like, I don't know. The
Don't-
Premier League's got money.
yeah. Don't fucking give me the Well, I know you're not, but I'm saying they can't like give the money.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you guys make ridiculous amounts of money. Just fucking
Yeah. And like
use
UEFA's
it.
doing it. UEFA was they're either doing it or they want to do it in the Champions League.
Yeah, and
So
UEFA's the biggest.
right,
Well, FIFA is the biggest scumbag
right,
financially, but like,
yeah.
you can't be a bigger scumbag with money than UEFA. Like,
So yeah, so UEFA's doing that, and then like so you're gonna have it in the biggest 5 teams in each league, anyways. So then you might as well just do it. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about Tottenham Liverpool. I guess I don't know. It made me angry watching that game, and I was disgusted with the response from the PGMOL. I just everything was gross.
yeah, it was nasty.
Nottingham Forest, Brentford, 1-1. Yeah, typical, I guess.
Typical.
Not a whole lot to say. And then we had Fulham, Chelsea play today. Chelsea get a win. Mudryk gets his first goal.
Congrats. To the
Could be the one
Ukrainian
that writes
boy.
the ship for Chelsea. We'll see.
You know what game I didn't realize was tomorrow? Now that I'm looking,
Luton,
Luton
Burnley.
versus Burnley. That's gonna be.
I'm seeing that because everyone in the fantasy chat is like, "Where's our weekly update?" And I'm like, "Another game tomorrow, jackasses." Is what I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our. We're past 35, so let's go to the Champions League.
Yes, we
parlay.
have our bet for the Champions League matchups. Let me pull it up quick. So, I'm just gonna run through who's playing this week in the Champions League first. So we have Union Berlin versus Braga, Salzburg versus Real Sociedad, Lens versus Arsenal. Is it Lens? Is that how you pronounce it? I
Yeah.
feel like it's like R for some reason.
It's
FC
RC
Copenhagen
Lens,
versus Bayern Munich, Man United versus Galatasaray, Inter Milan, Benfica, Napoli, Real Madrid, PSV, Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord, Antwerp, Shakhtar Donetsk, Porto, Barca, Leipzig, Man City, Newcastle, PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, Celtic, Lazio, Red
Give
Star
me 5
Belgrade
minutes,
versus-
Kev. Yes.
Uh,
Sorry.
And then out of those, we decided that our 3-pick parlay bet for the away fans will be Real Sociedad money line, Real Madrid money line, and PSG money line. Looking
For-
good there.
What's the total?
Give me 1 second.
I think it's plus 600. We make that up.
Give me a second.
You're good.
You can keep talking if you want.
Sorry. I think it was plus 800. You could do my parlay, which was plus 58,800. If you're looking to make some real money this weekend or this
Playing
week.
with the big boys. It's plus 1,500. Nick.
Plus 1,500. Okay.
So $10
good.
wins you 162.
I mean, I'd play it.
I would play that too.
I'd smack that.
Yeah, me too. Way to make it weird.
Sorry.
So yeah, we got that going on this week. We'll tweet that out as well. I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Yeah.
Luton tomorrow. I'm thinking another Luton win. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling it.
I was going Burnley, but
See what happens. But thank you guys for listening. Successfully done our first live show. We're planning on doing all of them live from now on, so make sure you tune in.
yeah, I'll tweet them out beforehand and let everyone.
Yeah,
know
we'll do a
schedule.
better job planning beforehand. But appreciate you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Away Fans Podcast. Yeah, keep an eye out for more stuff going on, giveaways, all that kind of shit.